My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Ignite your life. Hello. Welcome to the show, my friend. So sometimes I kind of get a little obsessed about words. So again, I'll kind of tune into an energy of a word that matches kind of what's been going on in my life or what I'm seeing with my clients. And then it's everywhere I go. I'm seeing it and I'm playing with it like curiosity. Curious Universe. That's how this podcast actually was named, because I was so obsessed with the word curious for so long. So right now, the word of the moment is actually ignite. Ignite. I wanted to come here and explore curiously, can't even say my favorite word anymore, with you. What does it mean to ignite your life? What does it mean to ignite something? Ignite in you joy, ignite a new sense of living, ignite. And so with ignite your life, for me, is truly that lighting that spark, lighting and I love fire. I'm a fire sign. It's igniting something and then it will continuously grow. That's what I love about it, is that you don't just turn something on like a light switch. If you ignite something, if you ignited your wealth, just get a sense of that. Ignite your wealth. Your wealth turns on, it activates, it starts to grow like wildfire, totally out of control. Ignite your self-love. It's activated, it's turned on, it's fired up. It can go really, really deep, and then it can come really, really far out. Ignite your joy. Ignite your relationship. Oh my goodness. How many relationships have gotten to those places where everything's become routine, or it feels like we've been together for so long? Where's the passion? Where's the fire? What if you could actually ignite it? What if you have a job and you're like, do I need to leave? Maybe it's actually, you just need to ignite something in that job for you that would expand things, that would allow things to grow, to fire up, to change, to transform. So what is ignite for you? What could you ignite in your life? Woo. What could you ignite in your life that would truly give you a life and a living worth living for you? That was very wordy. Yet it so matches what I see a lot of people going, like a lot of people, their main priority is survival. They've gotten into survival mode. They're just looking to get through. A lot of people I'm talking to, they're not even excited for much of anything coming up. They're kind of just looking to handle what's here. Well, I got to tell you, if you were ignited, if you were an ignition, that ignited vibration to me is the sense of where you step into thriving, where you step into a place of thrival. Because from a space of survival, not much is ignited except for your adrenaline to survive. Woo! So how much has your adrenaline to survive been ignited, which turns off diminishes your thrival, your capacity to thrive, truly, because you cannot survive and thrive at the same time. Thrival is beyond surviving. So if you ignited within you a thriving with money, a thriving with your body, if you ignited joy of embodiment, maybe for you, your sex life has gotten watered down, diminished, boring. What if you could ignite it? What if you could ignite it more easily than you think? What would you have to choose? So now, okay, so we brought up these things. We looked at this, like, what is igniting for you? And I'm showing you the energy of what it is for me. And I'm pulling from you. I'm just trying to pull it out so you can start to look at it. And then we go into, okay, so what are some of the things that could really use this energy of igniting? Okay. So it's like your body, your relationships, your money, your business. Maybe it's even your family. Like maybe you've gotten into so many routines with your family that it's kind of like, there's not a lot of fun in the family life that you know is possible. Now, what some people do is that to create an ignition, they will go and create adrenaline. Okay. So they'll create some sort of havoc, or they'll create, all of a sudden they have to do all this stuff. Like, and that can work. I find for me, it's a very short term thing. So let's say with my body, say some people create, they're just kind of detached from their body. Maybe they hate their body. Then they create, not from their mind, okay, well, from their mind, but not from cognitive awareness, but they create some kind of illness in their body. And their body is trying to ignite awareness. It's trying to ignite body awareness. It's trying to ignite some attention. It's trying to ignite some transformation. And so that can work. And then we go into creating some changes. It ignites all these changes in our life with our body. But what I see is after that, those people, once like their body starts to feel better, they tend to slip, not always, but they can tend to slip right back into what was going on before. But when you go from not trying to solve a problem, and you don't have to create a problem to ignite something, oh my gosh, like makeup sex. I never understood makeup sex. I've only done it once or twice, and I never enjoyed it. But I know a lot of people will actually, they create the fight so that they can have the makeup sex because it ignites a fire in their relationship again. But it's temporary. It's temporary. So instead, let's say I wanted to change something in my relationship or my sex life. I could create that. I could create this fight with someone so I could ignite some fire. Or I could ask, so what do I need to add or change or choose that would ignite my sex life? That would ignite my sex drive, Stress, anxiety, depression, these types of things can really like bring down even your desires for sex. Maybe that's what you're asking for. You're just starting with that. What could I add? What could I choose? What could I do? What could I be that would ignite this? That would ignite joy of embodiment. That would ignite my wealth. That would ignite my joy of being in this job, this career, my joy of parenting. There's so many different things you could ask for. And so when you start to ask for something like that, so what would it take to ignite my life? Right? That's a pretty big one because we're including all those things that comes with a life. Money comes with your life and relationship and body and business and all of these things. And so when you're asking that, you're going to get some awarenesses. Now, it might not be cognitive. So if you were to ask, what could I choose right now that would ignite my wealth? You might just get an energy. Whoa, okay, cool. Even if you don't cognitively get it, what if you chose it anyways? What if you're like, okay, so anything that shows up that matches that energy, I'm going to say yes to it. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's crazy, even if I don't have the time for it. Could be as simply as a friend. Maybe a friend reaches out, you haven't talked to them forever, and they're like, hey, you want to go for coffee? And you're like, last time I talked to that friend, things were like really blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I want to talk to them. That's your mind. It's not your awareness talking. Does it match? You just ask the universe, hey, what would it take to ignite my wealth or my life or my body? Something shows up. Does it match? Yes or no? If it doesn't, don't go see her. If you don't want to, no worries. But if it's light that it matches, what if you just went? What if you just went anyways? You just silenced your mind and you stepped into what you know, and you stepped into the possibility, and you actually allowed yourself to ignite. Yourself to ignite. What if your whole life was was a fire of possibilities, beautifully burning and bright and lighting the way? So what if you chose it anyways? And then what's next? It's not often one step, one action. Usually it's a multitude. You're kind of going on a quest of ignition. So it might be you have lunch with her and she says, oh, you should meet my friend Jamie. We're having a something. You should come. And then you end up going. And then suddenly your wealth has ignited. What would it take to ignite my relationship? What your mind's going to do, if you ask that question, your mind's going to go through all the things that it's either heard or seen that other people have done, or that you've done in the past that's worked. And it's going to bring all the things that you've done in the past that has not worked. That's the calculating system of your mind. Okay. That's all it's capable of. So it's going to reference other people and it's going to reference you, which means if you're choosing to follow your mind, then you can only base it off of that limited possibility. If you go off your knowing, I'm like putting knowing over here for some reason. The mind is here, knowing is over here. If you go off your knowing, then possibilities you've never considered can show up, because it's actually pulling from all of consciousness, from things that have never even existed before here, things that you've never chose or even heard of, you didn't even know was possible, if you're willing to go from what you know, which is pretty cool and can be, for control freaks, a little bit uncomfortable, because you can't reference, will it work, will it not work? I've seen it work. You're like doing the stats. Well, I've seen that work for 5% of the population. That's not high enough. I need 85% or higher. Okay, that's one way to live your life, but we're looking at more of a conscious living, right? With these conscious infusions in our curious universe. So, okay, you asked that question, what would it take to ignite ease with my body? What would it take to ignite bliss with my body? Oh, bliss with my body. What would it take to ignite bliss with my body? And again, you might just get a sense of an energy and just go, okay, I'll have that. Yes. Yes. Nod your head. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes, please. Universe, show me the way. I like to say, show me the easy easy and fastest way because I, sometimes I'm impatient, but universe, show me the way. I am willing. What would it take to ignite? And you might get like, you know what? Take this workshop, this business workshop. It seems so boring. I've been avoiding it forever, but I get it's going to ignite my wealth. Okay. Well, do you actually want it? Are you willing to choose it? Are you willing to go? Oh my God, I'm going to have to ask my uncle for, I don't know, a personal loan to start that business I've always wanted to start, but I've been in resistance to that. Well, how bad do you want it? For me, I am willing to go all the way, all the time. I like life is so, well, one, it's so short in a way. And there's a lot of points of view connected to that. So just take that as it hits for you or as it lands for you. I don't want to hit you with anything as it lands for you. I don't desire to waste the gift of being here. I don't desire to waste that gift by constantly going, oh, I don't know, or I'm in resistance to something. If I get aware I'm in resistance to something, I pull out all my tools until I clear that resistance. I will not let resistance stop me. What if you didn't let your resistance stop you? What if you didn't let your fear stop you? What if you didn't let your points of view stop you or this mind thing stop you? Imagine you were truly willing to just leap into everything that was going to ignite the life you truly like to have. The strange thing is, a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So you might feel like the weirdo in the group or in the family. I often do. But I have the joy of my life. So it doesn't really matter. And I've had so many people tell me how inspired they've been with what I've chosen. And I notice how quickly I'm willing to choose and how much people want to think about something and process it and think about it and think about it and think about it. Does that match the energy of igniting something? No, it's fast. You light a match. I had like a pretty little Zippo. I'd like flip the lid, and like light it. You ignite it. It goes right away. Do you want your wealth to come slow? Do you want to think about it? Or do you want to ignite it? Ignite it. Universe, show me the easy way. So what would you truly like to ignite? What would you like to? I'm actually really curious. Let's get curiouser, even curiouser. Are there things in your world, if you were to get vulnerable with yourself, are there things in your world that you would love to ignite that you either gave up hope on or have hidden from the world? Like maybe it's your creativity. Maybe you want to ignite your creativity. Maybe you have a book inside you or a piece of art and you're so terrified or you're so like protective around it, or you just kind of bought the points of view that you can't do it, you can't achieve it, it's not going to work for you. Would you be willing to like get a sense of those things right now? And what would your life be like if you even just took one of them and you just ignited it? For me, I think it was like a hope of, I always had just a different like desire for this world. even as a kid, it's like, no, no, there's so much more possible here. This can't be as good as it gets. This can't be it. And I let the world beat me down, and I let it shape me, and I let it convince me that it was hopeless, that it was impossible. And then I ignited that possibility. Nothing's impossible. Like, absolutely nothing is impossible if you can perceive it. By that very like action of perceiving, it is now possible. Anything you desire is possible. What if it was just a match away, like a light that match away? What if it just a whisper away for you to have that possibility? What if it could be easier than you've ever imagined or been told? What could you ignite in you? What could you ignite in you? And when I'm fired up and I'm just like, I had this, all of the stresses and the things that I made so significant and that I was so worried about, they seem to like burn away. The overwhelm, gone. The self-doubt, just gone. Because I'm too fired up to pay attention to that sneaky little doubt. It's like, it's probably there trying to whisper to me, and the fear's over here trying to whisper to me. And I'm like, I'm so fired up, I forget to pay attention to those limiting beliefs. Would you be willing to be so fired up to have your whole life ignited? And any areas in your life, maybe you do have areas in your life that you're on fire. Like you're like, when I'm in my creative zone, I am so lit up. And then I have to go home to my family. And then I'm in like, I have to do mom stuff. I have to do dad stuff. I have to do. And you feel like you lose that. And so you only have the space of like ignition when you're in your creative zone. Well, what if it didn't have to be only in one place? And igniting doesn't always mean like you're like high energy. Like ignite your inner peace. Ignite your communion with the earth. Ignite your capacities with healing. Ignite your love for yourself, for others. What if you could have it everywhere? What if you could burn so bright that you forget that you're supposed to struggle? So I don't know if you've noticed, there's a sense that we're supposed to be struggling through life, especially now. You don't have to struggle. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're not struggling and everyone else is. It actually allows you to be the light that is the possibility for others to go beyond struggle, to step into thriving. So what areas of your life would you like to ignite? Maybe it's your spiritual life. Maybe you felt lost in that area or confused, or you kind of just let things go that were really valuable to you. You kind of dropped them. Maybe you used to meditate and you stopped, or maybe you used to journal write, or there's so many different things that people can do. You know, for me, it's my work with access consciousness. I love it. It ignites an expansion of consciousness in my world that I can't even quantify. What areas of your life would you really like to ignite that could just create so much more for you? And I always say, like, make a life worth living. I was very depressed severely. I tried to commit suicide when I was a teenager. It didn't work out. Kind of did it twice. It didn't work out. Then I guess it did work out because I'm here. But at the time, I didn't get the result I was looking for. I was in an extremely abusive relationship. And I was like, kind of like, either I'm going to get pregnant and have a baby or I'm going to die. And so I got pregnant and had a baby. I just didn't feel like life was worth living. It was so hard. And I did everything right as to what I was told, like what right was. Everything that I thought was right, I did it all. And it still was like pretty mediocre. It was not like this glorious phenomenon of being. And when that match got lit for me, when my life ignited, my life became so precious to me. And there's been moments where I've gone, out of that. When about midway through COVID, I like a lot of people, felt like I lost my spark. Not in every area, but some areas. So then I had to ignite them. I had to. And I'm still lighting fires in my life. I'd like it to be even bigger and more glorious than even when I felt all fired up. I'm like, oh, okay, I can create that. Then what's even greater than that? What's even beyond that? Look at your life. Where have you been the most fired up? You've had the most ease. And here's the thing, is most of the time when people are fired up, they're having so much ease in their life. Things are just falling together as if by magic. That's the beauty of it. So look at like the top that you can think of. Maybe like, this is when my body was at its best, or this is where my career was at its best, or my money was at its best. Okay, look at that. And rather than ever trying to get back to that, what if you start asking? So you know you can do that because you did it before. So you already know you can, right? What could you ignite within you that would allow you to go so far beyond that you can't even believe it's possible, but it is? What could you ignite in you? Maybe you have to ignite some magic, some actual true capacities, gifts, talents, magic that you have. Maybe you require to ignite your self-worth. Maybe you require to ignite your consciousness, your awareness, your knowing, your perceiving, your receiving, your being. Maybe you need to ignite everything. It's all possible. It is all so, so possible for you. And start with those questions. You can just start with that. What do I need to ignite within me so I can have a life, precious, joyful, phenomenal life? What can I ignite in me that would allow me to have a relationship greater than any fairy tale I've ever heard? What could I ignite in me that would allow me to have wealth beyond my wildest dreams? Ignite your life. Would you be willing to ignite your life? I actually have something I'd like to invite you to. I don't often do any kind of promo on these shows, but I have special just for this summer. So June, July, and August, I'm doing these Ignite Your Life coaching packs. And so you get to come on with me. We start your first session we kind of go over some things in your life. So we're going to look at all the areas, your body and your relationship and your money and your business or career, like all these different things, right? And then we're going to work on actually igniting all those areas. And we get to meet once a week for those 3 months. And at the end of that 3 month, the transformation possible is well, fires me up really, because if you were to ignite all those areas and to have someone supporting you to do that, someone supporting you and giving you tools and facilitation and different awarenesses, and to actually like bring out that fire within you, what would that be like? Who would you be at the end of those 3 months? So I'm inviting you to choose that. I'll put a link in this description. Again, I don't normally do this, but it just really seemed light that maybe I'm speaking to you. Maybe you are looking, Cassie, I want to ignite my life. I want to do this. This seems like impossible. I get it's possible. And you're speaking to me. You're right here in my heart. And I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. And I do say, try starting with that question, but maybe you don't want to fumble along on your own. Maybe you want to have someone having your back dynamically that can ask you questions to spark these different things within your universe, to get you clear on things in your universe, and to really give yourself like the life that you'd really like to have. So if you want, come play with me. I literally only have 8 spots in my schedule. That's just the way my schedule's worked out. So out of all of the world, I can only do this with 8 people. You might be one of those people. If you're one of those people, please reach out immediately. Get on a call with me. We can have a one-on-one, a little quickie meet and see if you would like to ignite your life this summer with me. Because I want to see all these bright lights shining and enjoying their life and enjoying their body and their wealth. And so much is possible. So much is possible. Thank you so much for getting curious with me on this show. Thank you so much for asking these questions of yourself and expanding your consciousness with these questions, because we are all connected. As we expand, the world expands. As you expand, everyone connected to you that you really care for, they have the possibility of expanding. Thank you for being you, for being here, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?